Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Zcast. We are joined today by Squee
Lies. Don't deceive the people.
and Viper.
Hello.
Unfortunately, Kyle wasn't able to join us. Also, I'm your host, Burnerator. Let's get into the Week 15 matches. Match 1, Muscle versus Dragon Ball Warriors.
And both those teams were fighting for a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
Well,
It is
if it's
what
any
it is.
consolation, at least they didn't last much more than a match or two after you did.
Yeah.
Well, yes. I suppose if I had to be bitter, I
Yeah,
could
I was
say at
gonna
least
say,
the
yeah,
Dragon Ball
if you were
Warriors
the
didn't
type
make
to
it.
be bitter.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it was a good match. I think just Dragon Ball Warriors really came out that.
Yeah, they came out to play, and
Well,
they really needed that.
the funny thing is that I actually got a message from Havoc saying, oh, I wasn't expecting your lineup or your Pataras at all, and I was like, you? I wasn't expecting freaking early Goku with Power Body out the gate. That definitely screwed us up. And then Kid Goku came out, and Kid Goku was just, I he just smashed 13 around like he was a child's play toy, and it
Yeah, what
was
Yeah.
was that? That was crazy.
yeah. And
Maybe
the thing is
13 is
13.
not a advocator of child abuse.
Yeah.
I guess not. And the stupid thing is that 13 had Power Body. The only way Kid Goku could have gotten through that was to just smash the crap out of it, which he did.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a good match. Dragon Ball Warriors are a strong team, and you know how they say it, c'est la vie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was a good
Unfortunately.
season. You had your team. Well, your team is back in South Kai, but
Well, actually, I'm both proud and incredibly ashamed to say that no Muscle has never been in South Kai except for this season.
that's true.
Yeah,
And they
we.
were the champions last season, so it's not like you don't have a team to be proud of.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it's just I guess I could say it now. I don't plan on being captain after this season, and
Hmm.
it kind of sucks that I'm leaving my team in South Kai. I would
Dude,
have preferred, obviously, to have left my team with a better record than I did.
you're serving our country. It's fine.
Eh,
It's good.
Oh yeah, you're going off to the
the
Navy.
Navy.
Yeah, the Navy. Fun with that.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
I'm
I
go.
will say that of the armed services, I have heard the Navy not only one of the most interesting, but can be one of the more fun branches. So I hope you have a great time there.
Oh yeah, and I plan on becoming captain of a ship and naming it the SS Broly.
Oh, that's going to be amazing.
Oh, great. It's going to be great.
But yeah, that was definitely I wouldn't say it was a close match, but it was definitely a good match. Dragon Ball Warriors were the stronger team.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
On to match 2, Androids versus Saiyans. And my god, Androids won.
Yeah, androids were kind of an interesting team this season. They had an amazing start, a slump in the middle, and finished strong.
Mm-hmm.
And they definitely look playoff ready, especially Jiro. I think Jiro blocked 2 ultimates. He just came out and was just like, "Oh, you have an ultimate stored up? Let me grab that from you real quick."
Yeah.
Well, Jiro has a nasty habit of, but it's time for playoffs? Oh. Well, okay. Let me just start being amazing.
Yeah. Let me just grab every other second.
Yeah, and the scary thing is that it's not like Jiro is the best person on the team and everybody else is average. No, it's like Jiro is an elite among elites.
Right.
That team has been scary since day one of this season. Playoffs are going to be interesting in their division.
Yeah. Very
Very,
interesting.
very, very true.
Although Saiyans put up a pretty good fight, especially Turles at the end. He's no longer the idiot that stands there and eats fruit at his own detriment.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. I think the Saiyans had a difficult season. I hope to see more from them, obviously, in the next season. Well, they're still in the playoffs, so
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
you can still see
no,
more of them. But
Saiyans did good.
I really hope they either figure out a way to get Turles and Nappa working or switch them out for King Vegeta. I really think that should be Like, I'm not convinced that Nappa or Turles can't work, but like, I will be surprised if we don't see King Vegeta on the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, Raditz has been a really good pickup. I
Oh
must
yeah.
say that Raditz has been like he hasn't been good in other seasons, but they figured him out this season. He's been a pretty good addition to the team.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely, it's between Turles and Nappa to either pick up the pace or just give King Vegeta another shot because he was elite last season. So it's not like
Yep.
he's not a good character.
Right. But
All right.
yeah.
On to match 3. Vals versus Earth Defenders.
Oh, the judgment. Oh, the justice judgment.
Or TN.
Yeah. Yeah, TN can't have any children anymore. Launch is going to be very angry.
Did he get iced? Did he get it iced down?
I don't think he did.
I don't think there was anything there to ice.
He probably won't be able to. He won't be there for the playoffs. I mean, it's going to be 4v5, unfortunately.
No, the Vals were just standing, and they fought their way into the playoffs. It was fantastic to see.
Mm-hmm. I would like to say for the record, Chaozu dominated really. That was something I did not expect.
No, but you know what else I wasn't expecting? A 15k ping out of Aurelie.
Yeah, well, that's because she had Super Plus 2 and Chaozu has an innate defense minus 2, along with attack plus 2, which gives it plus 3, so Super Plus 2 defense minus 3 with indignation.
What I wasn't expecting was the Spanish Inquisition.
But
Nobody
no one
expects
expects
the
that.
Spanish Inquisition.
Well, then good. I feel better. I was
yeah,
sitting
no,
there
that
thinking,
was a good match, and I'm kind of surprised at how hard Fasha shut down Goku's ultimate spam
where
ability.
was that
Dude.
all season? Where was she?
I've been saying since day freaking 1 that Goku's biggest weakness is melee, and that is why.
Yep. Like, because I know there've been the talks about Goku's ability to go B1 and Ultimate is overpowered, and no, you can see where the weakness in it. See that. I mean, yes, it's an incredibly powerful ability. It can be shut down.
Oh yeah,
So
it definitely
fast.
can.
But yeah, that Fasha was exciting to see. That was the Fasha back from season 5 when she was number 1 in the league, and I don't know where it is anymore. I mean, I kind of hope to see more of her.
Well, hopefully it's the playoffs. Hopefully she realizes what's on the line, and she just is like, "All right, playtime's over. I took it easy during the season, but now it's time to step the game up."
Hope.
All right, on to match 4: Super Saiyans versus Ginyu Force.
Or Ginyu.
Yeah, but it was the Super Saiyans.
Yeah.
This was not going to be anything other than an uphill battle from the start. Although Captain Ginyu, for his part, he did pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Oh, he had a great last stand. If he had done body change, well, I don't think they would have won, but it would have been interesting.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, I'm starting to feel bad for the Ginyu Force and Team Derp, and yeah, those two especially because they've had several coaches and several seasons, and they just can't seem to figure it out yet. And I hope that maybe this offseason will be different, and they'll figure it out, and they'll get it together, and they'll be amazing.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen them get figured out. There was that season where Derp made it to North Kai, and they were like 9-5.
Well, they made it to
And-
East. They made it to East.
Oh, that's right.
But here's the thing, though. The thing is that both those teams have improved, but the league overall has improved and kind of put them right back down where they used to.
Yeah.
I mean, and we've seen them do amazing. Like, we've seen the Ginyu Force, I mean, Jace and Berta, and they're very powerful characters. The problem that those teams have yet to figure out is consistency. They figured out how to make them amazing for a match or two, but they haven't been able to figure out how to make them amazing for a season.
Yeah.
and I have full faith that it's possible and that it's there, and that they just need to think out of the box and try a bunch of different things, and they'll figure it out. I have seen enough characters in this league become amazing. Nom,
Tambourine.
Tambourine. Yeah, sorry. I'm not gonna actually take the 5 minutes to list them all, but
Well, no,
there are enough characters that Roshi, who sucked, who were horrible, and then someone figured out Chaozu how to make them work. That I really believe that Captain Ginyu, Goldo, they're there. There is a method that will work on them. There is an AI and a technique that will make them amazing. Babidi, despite what Piff says, Babidi used to suck. He doesn't suck now,
Yeah.
though. And
No.
I hope that the Ginyu Force and Team Derp use the off season to the best of their ability, because of all the teams, I want those two teams to do well. I want them to be in North Kai some season. You know, they don't have to be champions. Obviously, they'd want to, but I mean, I want to see them be able to make it. I want to see them being competitive. I want to see them tell the others, you know what, we're not the joke team.
Hmm.
But yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
You guys will have to forgive me. I am under the weather, so
Yeah. It's more than fine.
my energy is maximum. No, wait. What's the opposite of that one?
Minimum.
Yes, that one.
Yes. Plus, you had that Xenoverse stream that still kind of impacted you.
I got another one on Thursday.
Yeah.
Woo! I mean, I sound unexcited, but I really am excited.
You mean
that
tomorrow?
game's really fun. Yeah.
Tomorrow.
I mean, that game is really fun.
Yeah, definitely. On to match 5, Gohan's versus Namek.
This was an
Unfortunately-
incredible match.
Yeah, I wasn't able to watch it, but I heard that Gohan's just got destroyed.
No,
No.
actually, it was incredibly
No.
close.
It was too close.
It was way too close.
It
Uh,
came
lied
down
to
to
me.
a B2.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it looked like the Gohans were gonna wipe it, and then it was weird because it was like the Gohans got this huge lead, and then Namekians caught up, and the Gohans got a huge lead again, and then King Piccolo just said no. I will not go
Wow.
quietly into the night, you know. And we were talking about how you know, it's interesting because those two teams are facing off again next week.
Mm-hmm. It's the rematch.
And I hope that either both their matches, or if it goes to a 3 series, all 3 of their matches are like this one, because this one was a nail biter. Like, it literally could have swung either way at the end.
Yeah.
But no, whoever told you they got destroyed, they weren't paying enough attention to the match. That match was stupid close.
Hey,
Yeah.
that was Kaio. Kaio must have been saying that Ultimate Gohan got destroyed, okay?
Ultimate
something
Gohan
like
did
that.
amazing. I don't know where he was coming from. Maybe it was just like because at the end they got pwned kind of thing. I don't know.
Maybe. That
But no,
actually
it
makes some
was
sense.
a really fun match.
On to match 6, Majins versus Rugrats.
Good Lord Babidi.
Yeah.
Sniper Babidi. And I have to face that next week.
I believe it was 6 ultimates fired, 5 of them successful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which
And I'm pretty sure Babidi went elite.
oh
pretty
god, he
sure.
had to have.
Yeah.
Can't imagine he didn't.
And I felt kind of bad because Chi-Chi has been doing, fairly good for herself this season, and Chi-Chi hit the field, and it was like, oh, oh, wait, what's a Chi-Chi again? I don't see a Chi-Chi anymore. I see the dust
Yeah.
cloud in the shape of a girl that used to be Chi-Chi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, poor Chi-Chi. But Chi-Chi's another one of those characters that did really, really well this season.
Oh, yeah, she's another one that, used to be a character that you would raise your eyebrow at if someone recruited her, and now she can actually hold her own.
Yeah. She's definitely better than Cyberman. I'm just putting that out there.
No, yeah, I would definitely say that it was a good idea to drop Cyberman and pick her up.
Mhm.
Agreed.
Not saying Cyberman can't be a good character. It's just compared to the team they have now, Cyberman would probably bring them down more.
Oh, definitely.
But yeah, no, I was proud that they got Chi-Chi working. I'm glad that that Trunks and Goten. I mean, the Rugrats were a dominant team, and they're in the playoffs, so we'll get to see more of them.
Yeah.
But I mean, they were neck and androids for the entire season. The androids are as strong as it gets.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
Rugrats, no matter what happens to them, they got to be proud of their team. They all were. Now, I know that a lot of it was Trunks and Goten were amazing, and you know, you could say that Cell Jr. and Chi-Chi still need a little work, but Chi-Chi, vast improvement. Cell Jr., I would say, is the only one on their team that they need to take a hard look at and go, we're doing something wrong. And
I would
even
also
Cell
say,
Jr. had his great moments, so
Yeah.
yeah, I would say they should probably also take a look at GT Goku. I feel like GT Goku still isn't quite pulling the weight that he should be.
Well, if they decide to keep that form, they very likely will go back to Super Saiyan 3.
yeah, if they keep transformations turned off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they can't. Can they do that in the middle of? Can they do
No,
that in
not
the playoffs?
no, not in the playoffs. They'll have to wait
Not in the
until
playoffs. Yeah, next season. I mean.
7.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Next match.
All right. Next match, we have Cold versus Boo.
Cold is
It's
so
a pretty good. It's a pretty good match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a good match. I just Team Cold. What a crazy team that is. One season they're amazing. The next season they're South Kai. The next season they're North Kai. Season they're South Kai.
Yeah.
This season they are one of the top teams in the league. Do we know which team had the highest win-loss record?
The one with the highest win-loss record was the Super Saiyans.
Well, that's not a big surprise, but
Yeah.
but Cold was right up there with all of them.
Yeah, they were at 9-6. They're in North Kai next season.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was a great match. Boos are strong, and I did like that they got stronger as the season progressed. Um, but yeah, it's I do remember thinking at the beginning of the season that putting Frieza in his ultimate form was a big mistake, and I times have I been more wrong.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing was, they were testing Form 3 over and over and over and over, and then so when the season started, they started in Form 4. So we were like, "Whoa, you're going straight into there, like no testing." That might screw you over, but it was like the best decision they ever made.
It was crazy. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done, Team Cold. You deserve your spot.
Oh, definitely. And from what I recall, the Boos did really well. It's just Cold was just way too good.
Exactly. Yep.
Cooler, their weakest member all of this season was able to take out Kid Buu, if I recall correctly.
I think so. Yeah.
Amazing.
Playoffs are going to be interesting. That's all I got to say.
And finally, match 8, Blades versus Derp.
Derp put up a decent fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not like they just rolled over and died. So,
I
but
mean,
they were against the Blades. Blades are a pretty damn good team this season.
Yeah, like I said, same thing with Guinea Force. I really want to see Derp do well next season. I really do. It's got to be so demoralizing for the fans of that team, season in and season out, just not even make it to the.
Yeah. I don't know. I still think that Herc did amazingly in that match compared to what he normally does.
I agree. There's lots of potential there. I saw.
Mm-hmm. If Devilman was in, I could definitely see them taking that match. But unfortunately, week 15 Gotta bench who you gotta bench.
Well,
Very true.
I think that's the Cinderella story that's coming out of this season is the fact that Devilman is just he is their most powerful character as of right now. Like they have just done wonders with Devilman. Whenever he steps on the field, he just does amazing.
Mhm.
Yes and no. Into this beginning of the season, into the season, absolutely. The middle of the season, though, he was kind of lackluster.
A tad.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
just a
absolutely
bit.
right. I mean, overall, yes, I completely agree.
Oh, I also want to say for the record that Salza had power body, and he was against Sword Trunks, if I recall correctly, opening with Draconic Aura. Salza gave no fucks. He just powered through him.
That was fun.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can see like this week, and especially like last week, you can see the potential.
Yeah, definitely. Anyways, time to move on to the Zcast questions.
Mhm.
First up, we have Malachi. Of the stats recorded, what do you find the most interesting statistic to look at? For example, as of week 13, the androids have the lowest B2 throw weight, but the highest connect rate. Or that Mecha Frieza has thrown out 15 max power modes, but connected with only 9. Like, tried to go max power mode 15 times, but only successfully did it 9 times.
I honestly haven't had time to study the that's enough to be like, oh, this is what I really thought was. I might do that later on, as we get into the postseason, and I have. But I do love the stats, and I do love the interesting things.
Yeah.
I'm kind of the same way. Even though I am part of the stats team, I focus more on m- my stats and the job that I have to do, and not really the other stats. But I will say that it is interesting within my own job just to see, the spam characters, just how much they spam, and you never really get an appreciation while you're just watching the match. But when you're recording and you're like, okay, he shot 4 supers, he shot 8 supers. Sometimes they shoot 11 supers, and you're just like, holy Christ! I never realized while watching the match that they were shooting double-digit supers.
Mhm.
That's always interesting to see a spam character like really get into their groove and just throw out stupid amounts of B2 within one match.
Yeah. For me, it's got to be damage done. Because you can only see so far in a match without that statistic gathered. Like, this week, I felt Krillin did crap. I hated him. But then Kyle told me, hey, he did 37k. He almost took down a player. I guess I'm a bit too harsh on Krillin then. Fine. Stupid little bald headed bastard me. On to the next question. Golmeljack asks, are there any other types of custom ability Pataras or AI Pataras that may be in consideration to be added to this league in the future?
We're open. You know what? I was actually going to say this. We're open to. I want to kind of put up a thread to get community suggestions and ideas because we've kind of hit a point at the staff where we're pretty sure we got it. You know what I mean? We've
Yeah.
looked at all the Pataras, we've looked at which ones might come in, and as the league evolved, like for example, Power Body, throwing Power Body back in, and I think that's been an amazing success this season, giving teams more options. And it did exactly what we wanted. Power Body is utilized, but it's not overutilized, and it adds options but does not make things overpowered, and that was exactly what we were hoping for. But we were kind of there. I mean, take a look at this season, at how close all the win-loss records are. I mean, this week, there was not a single division that was decided. Every division had something to fight for, and two of the divisions, nothing was decided in week 15 because every team was so close. That we're getting the balance of the league down. I mean, we're as a community and as a staff and all that, we're starting to finally get to where, you know what, this is balanced and this is good. So you're going to see a lot less additions and changes season to season because we're kind of getting there, But the reason why I went into that long rant was because I want to open it up to the community of, just because we as a staff think we're there, it kind of, it's risky because it kind of puts blinders on, like, we got it, we're perfect, we're fine, we don't need anything else. And we want the community to actually sit there and go, well, hang on, well, what about this one? Maybe this would do something. And I'll be honest with you, chances are we've already thought about it and discarded it for some reason, but it's possible we haven't. And even if we have, at the very least, we could answer you as to why that would be possible. But I would like to get from the community, like, well, what about this Patara? What if we did this? Because I think this would do that. Or what about this change? And we'll consider them. But I can tell you right now, as of right now, the staff has, and of course, we don't do serious talks until the season's over, but we have no plans of changing the Bataras right now at all because we haven't seen anything that needs it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll even go so far as to say I think this might be the first season ever where we don't have to nerf a team.
Yeah.
Like, I can't think of one. Like, of course, you'll always have those people that say, well, this is overpowered, well, that is overpowered. But as a staff, we have very strict guides of what we go by to determine if something is overpowered and needs a nerf. And I don't think there's a single team or player that was so dominating this season that we need to limit them.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Me too.
On to the next question, because we don't have much time. Squee will not be with us for the entire Zcast. He has to go and do stuff. But next question. Team Derp's match was so from Exoforce 101. Team Derp's match was so awesome. What if Team Derp did this when they were still competitive in the league?
I think you answered your own question.
Yeah, if they were still competitive in the league, they'd be doing this.
It was worded weirdly. I'm pretty sure they were trying to say, what if they did this earlier when they weren't knocked out?
Oh yeah,
amazing.
I'm pretty sure they answered their own question. If Team Dirt was doing good back when they could still get into the playoffs, I don't see any reason why Team Derp wouldn't at least have been like other teams like Dragon Ball Warriors and such, where come week 15, they're still fighting to get into the playoffs and they're still competitive.
Mm-hmm.
Word.
All right. On to the first question from Ubel Mastery. Do you think that Max Power B1 Ultimate characters should be nerfed to a similar extent as healing B1ers? Just looking at Team Cold is pretty clear that exploiting Max Power B1s with Kibito Secret Art and even promoting these actions with Yajirobe AI is unfair and causes more damage than any healing B1 healing B1er can pull off, except for Yajirobe. Yet there are so many restrictions on healing and none for Max Power mode. Do you think that giving Max Power mode B1 characters, except maybe the Ginyu Force, similar limitations as the healing B1ers, such as no Patars that promote B1s like Kibito Sacred Art, Dragon Spirit, no AIs that promote them, is justified to balance the league and get rid of this double standard?
First of all, it's not a double standard at all. You're talking about offense versus defense, and there's a huge difference there. The thing is, the reason why I say that, you can't call it a double standard, nor can you say that it's unfair, because you haven't seen what happens when we allow teams to concentrate on their B1 builds. And now I'm not saying that we might not consider such things in the future. What I'm saying is you don't have the data to say that it would be just as bad or just as good. However, to answer your question, I don't think we need to nerf those, quite simply because the numbers speak for themselves. It's not an overpowered ability. It's a strong ability, yes, but it's not an overpowered ability. We've seen time and time again where those characters, just look at last week, are trashed before they get a chance to do anything, or miss the ultimate like Mecha Frieza does, or even with the AI and the focus and all that, they refuse to throw out an ultimate and just keep throwing out B2s. We have yet to see a reason to nerf it, you can argue that it's very powerful, and you might feel like it's overpowered one week when Goku takes out a person in 30 seconds. But what you have to remember is that Goku may have taken out a person in 30 seconds that week, but the week before that, he did like 20,000 points of damage on the exact same build. And no team this week or this season went undefeated because of this kind of ability. Now, I will say this. No team ever went undefeated because of healing B1 abilities either. And I think that, despite what I said, and I only promise that I will bring it up and the staff will talk about it, it might be time to discuss letting B1 healing characters concentrate a bit more on that. Maybe. Because maybe. Now, I'm not talking about Grandpa Gohan on that advanced AI burn.
Yeah, please no.
No. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about maybe letting Grandpa Gohan use an AI that helps him focus on B1s and see where that goes. We tried it out the first few seasons and we banned it because it was unfair. The league has evolved since then. We have 7-point builds, like kind of the same thing with Power Body. It might be worth re-looking at, but I want to stress very, very strongly, I am only advocating that we look at it.
Yeah.
But yes.
That would be me going through like 150 different tests and seeing if it's like overpowered.
Not you. We would all do it as a staff.
Yeah.
But
everybody.
You act like that's what we don't do for every change we make.
Yeah.
So here it's okay to answer your question. No, the B1s, people that can go into max power with a B1, having a build that focuses on that is very, very powerful. Yeah. But it is no more powerful than having Maju focus on a spamming build or having Fasha focus on a melee build. These are all equal, in my opinion, in strength. And if I was going to nerf one, I'd have to nerf all, and then we'd have a nerfed league.
Yeah.
Like a perfect example, you saw that one week when Mid Goku took out the Raditz, I think it was, in like 30 seconds with a few B2s from his max power mode. Oob did even better, even faster with a spamming build that exact same week. So should I nerf spam builds? And I would also argue, like, for every time you've seen someone go B1 max power throw ultimate, you've seen someone use a spamming build to throw out 8 B2s and to wreck a player. The problem, or what you have to keep in mind, is that the B1 to max power to ultimate is very flashy and it does a lot of damage really quickly, so it feels incredibly overpowered. But just take a look at the statistics and you'll see that it is not as overpowered as you think it is.
Mm-hmm. All right, his next question is, do you think that Power Body should be legal for the MVP tournament?
No, I don't think that makes it fun. No Power Body.
Yeah.
You want to be able to knock people out.
Yeah. I would think that would be a tad bit too crazy. Crimson Flame asks, now that all 15 weeks have passed, who do you see in each Kai's Gauntlet team?
Oof, I wouldn't even try. There have been so many great players.
Yeah.
Not only that, would I have to try and determine who the best players were, I'd have to try and figure out how each Kai, who wants to use what in each Kai, and basically because it's not just a matter of, let me put my best player in the gauntlet or whatnot, because obviously your best player is going to the MVP, but let me put my second best player in the gauntlet. It's more like, okay, Earth Defenders want to throw in Yamcha. Yamcha's this kind of build. We need to complement that with this kind of character.
Yeah.
So I'm not even going to try and guess.
Yeah, it's hard to do because you want to build as solid a team as possible. Also, with the Gauntlet, like we were saying last week, we're going to allow different builds for the different stages. You will have a stage 1 build, a stage 2 build, and a stage 3 build. But yeah, you want to build the most solid team that you can. Just saying like, oh, Yamcha was our second best character, and so we're throwing in Yamcha. It's not really true, because like Kyle, Viper, and even Crimson can go, you know what? I think we need Chaozu. I don't know why they would say it, but they can.
Right.
Well, because he almost took down a Rayleigh, clearly.
Well, he almost took down a Rayleigh. He did take out Nom. He's solid this season. Ever since we put him on Trunks AI, he's been solid.
Yep.
But I could tell you a dream team I would want in each Kai.
Gogeta. Going for Gogeta.
Gogeta. We're going big.
But you can't have him because he is on the Super Saiyan 4 team along with Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta because they always fuse into two of them.
Oh,
They
right,
always fuse, and those blue bars are always super scary.
Oh God, yes. You know what? We'll chalk that question up to we can't really call that and move on because we only have two questions
Too many
left.
choices, yeah.
Yeah, and we don't have much time for Squee. What would each of you say is the worst Batara in the league?
Flight.
Flight.
Yeah, I would say Flight because the simple truth is you're better off not giving it to him because you can dodge B2s once in a while just by slowly sinking to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would say Flight.
Mm-hmm. On to the last question. From the K-Rain. Favorite character to watch perform in the league? What is your favorite character to watch perform in the league? Could it be just because of the build execution, or you just love the way they fight? For example, Evil Boo flies upside down.
I would say Devilman. I like seeing him perform. I like I like the chance that's always there that he might pull out a Devilmite beam, especially when he's against an evil team. And his melee is so hilarious because his melee is just he's a guy in a skin tight devil costume, and when he grabs you, he scratches you with his bright pink nails. Devilman's awesome.
Yeah.
Devilman is pretty awesome. I have to go Champ. I love Herc so much.
Yeah. I'm going to have to go with Goku. Super Saiyan mid Goku.
Biased much?
Hey, I am biased because that was the saga that I first started in. Okay? Was the Frieza saga. And he was badass against Frieza. He's badass when he plays. He is an awesome character. I love him. I love the way he plays, and I love the style that he plays. Of let's throw out an ultimate, B1, throw out another ultimate, and let's just wreck face. I like that style. And I do believe that was the last set of questions. So, really quickly before you go, Squee, just to make sure, the matches will be whoever had the highest win-loss record, they're playing at home?
Correct.
All right. So I will post this.
We should also point out to everyone, there is no week break.
Mm-hmm. I'm posting
Matches
that right
starting next week. Also, this is also a good time to put to rest, because we've discussed it before. Xenoverse will not be, the league will not be moving over to Xenoverse, period. As sad as that makes me, because Xenoverse had some great potential, it would never ever work. Not only do they not have calm versus calm, but the only people whose moves you can change are your created characters. You can't change Goku's or Vegeta's moves or anything like that. So it would actually give us far less customization options.
Yeah.
Than Budokai Tenkaichi 3 does. I was hoping that basically what you could do to the created character, you could do to anyone. You could give Vegeta a Destructo Disc or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I was hoping for calm versus calm, and none of that is there. And so it is completely unsuitable for the league. So we don't even have to have a, because I was saying we might have like a an off-season league just to test it out. It's pointless. They don't have calm versus calm. So
Yeah.
we're not even going to have that. Just so everyone knows.
Yep. Is there anything else that you need to talk about, Squee, before you head off?
No, not this week. Good luck to everyone in the playoffs. We'll obviously have a Zcast either after every playoff game, or at the very least, we're going to have like an end of the season podcast extravaganza where we'll talk more about stuff. But
Yeah.
no, everyone, good luck to your teams in the playoffs. If you didn't make it to the playoffs, this is the time to start testing. I believe the testers are going to allow, and I think this would be fair as long as it doesn't burn out the testers, to allow you to start doing off-season testing now. But okay, here's what I would do, Burn, because you're Viper. Are you still part of the testing team?
No.
I was never part of the testing team. I'm part of the stats team.
I'm sick. That's my excuse. No, Burn. If this doesn't burn you out, obviously playoff tests take priority.
Of course.
But if a team that is not in the playoffs wants to do like a full build test for next season, and you guys have the time to do it, do it. Like I said, it's no. Like I said, it's your call. Don't burn yourself out.
I would honestly rather wait until after the bowl is done, just so that everybody can start doing the tests at the same time, because then it can get confusing. And
well, but see, I kind of want to give at least some sort of advantage to those who didn't make it to the playoffs because they obviously need more testing.
True. You know what? Yeah, let's do it.
But like I said, no, the deciding factor is I don't want the test team to burn themselves out. Just do what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Don't kill yourselves.
Yeah.
All right, and then I'm gonna peace out, folks, and then Burn and Viper are gonna finish up here. You know, talk about I don't know Salsa's glorious hair.
The only thing left,
probably.
Yeah, the only thing left is predictions and talking about the gauntlet and what you have to do with the gauntlet, which I will be setting up within the next day.
I would also maybe go over exactly how the playoffs work for new people. Yeah.
Yeah.
But all right, everyone, take care. Ta-ta. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
User disconnected from your channel.
Okay. So, on to predictions.
Thank God that guy's gone. Pig.
Hey, be nice. God. What an asshole.
No, we love him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess prediction time, right?
Yeah. We only have 4 matches and they're going to be best of 3s, so let's get it started with Earth Defenders versus Majins, with all 5 members on each side.
This is going to be a stupid series of matches. You guys are like, it may not look it when you look at the win-loss, but you guys are actually pretty evenly matched.
Yeah. I mean, in our divisional match, we didn't have Chaozu in. And they didn't have Spopovich in, so...
Right.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, especially since now I would argue that both teams have an ace up their sleeve, considering Goku, of course, can spam ultimates, and now it looks like Babidi suddenly remembered that he has the potential to spam ultimates.
Fucking Sniper Babidi, yeah.
And you guys are kind of like... You guys are actually kind of evenly matched out because they have Spopovich, and he's like a pretty solid tanky character, but I would argue that Tien is a fairly solid tanky character also.
Yeah.
And then they have Deborah, and I would probably say the matchup to Deborah would probably be Yamcha.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you have Babidi and Mid Goku on the ultimate side. Although Babidi doesn't have the detriment of having a B1 that leaves him at a negative charge rate.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Majin Vegeta. And I don't know, would you say Krillin would be his opposite?
Well, both of them have been rather crap this season. I'm just gonna say it. I would say yes, but freaking Majin Vegeta is fixed. Krillin is not.
Fair enough.
I don't feel confident going into this that Krillin would be able to take on, or at least put close to a performance that Majin Vegeta does.
Right. And then of course you have Majub and Xiaozu, who they're both pretty good characters, but I feel like they both have problem with consistency.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah, because
I mean,
Majub, if he spams, good lord. But if he doesn't spam, he's kind of crap. And Xiaozu, if he does really awesome melee, he's awesome. If he just stands there and takes punches to his little dome, oh no.
yeah. Well, I think ever since we put him on Trunks AI, he's done at least 40k, just like Tien. Save for this week where Tien did 20k. Fantastic. But yeah, Chaozu is a solid member. I would say he is a bit like Majub in that sense. So it's a fairly even team, save for Krillin probably not doing as well as Majin Vegeta, but Krillin does have ultimates that he really likes to do.
Right.
So
I think this match will be decided by your openers. I think
yeah.
whoever's opener takes the lead for the team is probably going to set their team up for not a solid win, but definitely they'll probably edge it in their favor, especially if they tag. Tagging is going to be super important.
Definitely.
So, given those, I would have to give the edge to Earth Defenders just because I feel like you guys tag just a little bit more than Majins tend to do. Majins tend to fight it out with each character.
Yeah. I can see that. I'll agree with you.
Yeah.
And on to the Isekai matchup, Rugrats versus Valkyries. It's being played at the Rugrats place. Also, the Earth Defender, the match is going to be played at the Earth Defender's place.
Yes. And I wouldn't say that there's any advantage there. Ruin City is a fairly level playing field for both sides.
Yeah, let me actually double check this really quick. Yeah, it's going to be played at the Rugrats home stage. Anyways, yeah, it's going to be an interesting match for the Valkyries. I mean, I'm pretty sure they were playing at their home place versus the Rugrats. Yeah.
Are they?
They played at Glacier during the season, but they're going to be playing at Kami's Lookout during the playoffs because Rugrats have the divisional tiebreaker.
Right. Yeah, so Valkyries won't have the advantage in this match.
Yeah, they won't. Rugrats will, but I don't know. I don't think that the terrain will slow them down that much because there's like one character that relies on B2s, and that's Aurelie.
And even then, Aurelie never really does her B2s from long distance. It's
Yeah.
it's not like she tries to snipe anybody. Normally when she's doing her B2, it's in your face.
Yeah, so I would consider this match semi-even.
I wouldn't go so far as that.
Eh,
I think that Rugrats are a fairly good team. I mean, they've shown that they're a good team, but I feel like their strength lies in the performance of Trunks and Goten, whereas
yeah,
the Valkyries are just like they're just entirely too solid of a team. I don't know if that's possible, but I feel like if it is, the Valkyries have that. Because I mean, the one character that you can maybe say isn't pulling their weight so far is Pan.
yeah. And she's been doing really well
Exactly.
on
That's
Broly
the
AI.
problem. That's the problem is that you look at Pan and you're like, you haven't been doing that well, you A student. Everybody else is A plus. What is wrong with you? She's still an
Yeah,
A student.
exactly.
So I would say that the Rugrats definitely have an uphill battle in this one because if Trunks and Goten fail to perform, I don't know if I see Chi Cell Jr. and GT Goku being able to, pull back a win against Fasha, Aurelie, Saiya Woman, Android 18, and Pan if Pan decides to show up.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna give a solid lead to Valkyries in this one, even though the lookout might get in the way of like a few things.
Yeah, it might, but I I I still think the Vals can take this. I'm confident they can.
Yeah. So I think we're in agreement. Val's probably have this one.
Yeah.
Oh, we should do something fun. We
Hmm.
should say what we think it's going to be. So, like Earth Defenders Majins, I think you guys are going to take it to 3 matches.
Oh yeah.
And Val's and Rugrats, I think it's possible it'll go to 3 matches, but I'm going to side with a sweep in favor of Val's.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. It really depends on if the Vals try to counter. Because if they don't try to counter, I can easily see it go to 3 matches, still in the Vals' favor.
Oh, yeah, especially considering during the season, Rugrats did beat Val's, so
Yeah.
it's not outside the realm of possibility.
Hmm. By the way, week 15, Vals countered us hard.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, just tad. Anyways, on to West Kai. Boos versus Saiyans, and this will be played in the hyperbolic time chamber.
I just don't see Saiyans doing this. Boos are such a scary,
Yeah.
solid team.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that the hyperbolic time chamber isn't a night map, so they have
No, it's not.
They have 2 characters that can go giant ape, and I know we're focusing a bit too much on giant apes, but that's really the biggest advantage that you can get as a Saiyan, is going giant ape.
Yeah, and they only have 2, and against the Boos, that's not much of an advantage because the
Yeah.
Boos tend to have a lot more beam B2s than rush B2s, so it's not like you're canceling anything out.
Yeah, the only one that really has a rush B2 is Oob, and frickin' he'll just kill you before you go ape, just
Either
like he
that,
did
or
to
you'll
Tao.
go. Yeah, either that, or you'll go ape, and he'll just start smash attacking you.
Yeah, he'll just go, okay,
Fair
that's
enough.
fun.
I
Yeah,
haven't been kicking any mountains lately. You'll be a good substitute.
Yeah, exactly. I think that the Boos will take it 2-0.
I think it'll be a sweep in favor of the Boos also.
Yeah. All right, and the last prediction: South Kai. Gohan's versus Namek, and it's going to be on the Wastelands.
If I hadn't seen last week's match, I would say Gohan's probably have a fairly solid victory on their hands, but after last week, if Namek comes to play the way they did week 15, I don't know if Gohan's have the solid win that like the statistics let you think they might have.
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, a lot of those builds that were on the Nameks were experimental builds.
Oh wow. So
Yeah. Early
Damn.
Piccolo was on a completely new build. He was not on his Power Body Wreck Face build. How did he do?
Oh, if I remember correctly, he didn't do too hot.
Hmm.
So maybe they might want to put him back on that build, although then you have to deal with the fact that, Gohans are going to know he's on Power Body.
Yeah.
So the chance of a Draconic counter is pretty high.
Yeah. Plus, Ultimate Gohan art has an innate Draconic aura.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Does Oh, that's right. Teen Gohan will have an innate Draconic aura when he goes Super Saiyan 2 also, won't he?
Yeah. Power
Interesting.
Body's not the best against them.
I mean, it's not the worst. You're only talking
Yeah.
about what, 2 characters?
Yeah, it's not the worst. But it's not the end all be all that we saw during the season that early Piccolo was just able to dominate with. I see this match going to 3 with the Nameks.
You're going with the Nameks?
Yeah. Going to 3.
I will definitely agree with going to 3. I see this going 3 matches. I think I'll give it to the Gohans. Just because I feel like out of all 5 players, Gohans have a fairly... Gohans have more solid characters, because they didn't have Saiyaman week 15.
Yeah. And the Namek didn't have late Piccolo, who had almost... He had actually done Hellzone and Grenade perfectly against the Majins, and he had done around 50k week
Right.
14. So they didn't have a really good member.
Well, here's the thing. Early Piccolo is not known for well-placed Hellzone grenades. So I don't know if you can really count that in as a factor.
Yeah. Actually, 84k.
Oh, damn, he almost went elite.
Yeah, almost went elite.
But yeah,
So 84k, even without that Hellscone grenade, that's another that's 60 right there.
True.
Around there.
Although Gohan's, if we're going to talk damage, Gohan's had the advantage of having, what, one elite player on their team this season?
Let's check. Gohan's, yes, Teen Gohan.
Right. So Gohan's have somebody who has gone elite this season.
So has Namex.
Who went elite on Namex?
Tambourine week like 2.
Really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
it was amazing.
I think I'm still going to lean a little bit in the favor of the Gohans, just because they have the wild card of what happens if Teen Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2 and does something.
Yeah, that is true. Whereas
And also
what you,
they have justice.
yeah, what you see is what you get with the Namex, and the Gohans definitely have more potential that they can pull out of their back pocket.
Exactly. So I do think this will be 3 matches. I do think they'll all be close, but I think I'm going to give the edge to Gohan's just because there's that wild card out there.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that's done. Should we start talking about the Gauntlet and the MVP tournament?
Well, first things first, I think that we should just, for new people, explain exactly how the playoffs are going to work all the way to Tenkaichi.
Go for it, brother. Buddy?
Cool beans.
Bro buddy thing guy. Wow. Yeah.
Okay, so it's a shame that we can't put links, but I did make a thread about this in the squeeze layer place. But the way playoffs are going to work is we have each Kai fighting themselves in the first 2 weeks of the playoffs. So North Kai is going to have the 2 bottom teams fighting each other, and the top team has a bye week, which means they get to skip this next week and fight in playoff round 2, which is very important because they get to scout both teams. So whichever team wins, the bye week team is looking at them and they are reading how exactly they played that match, and they are getting a leg up just because they're rested and they've had 2 weeks to prepare their builds, and they're watching your team to see how you perform so that they can try to counter you the next week. And it goes that way with all of the matches. It's going to go North Kai, West Kai, East Kai, South Kai, all teams fighting through the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. And then whichever team from each Kai comes out on top is then going to the semifinals. And it will be North Kai versus West Kai, right?
Yeah, it's North versus East, and
North
West
versus East.
I can't remember.
No,
we
it's
we
the
just
2 top.
talked about this.
Yeah, it's the 2 top divisions versus, and then the 2 bottom divisions. So
Yeah.
it goes what, North, East, West, South?
Yeah, Northeast, West, South.
Right. So once we get to the semifinals, you're going to have the top team in North Kai, who will be the division champions of North Kai. So you do have a title. Technically, you can win. You can win the title of division champion, even if you don't go on to the Tenkaichi Bowl. So you have the division champion from each Kai fighting each other. You have North versus East because they're the 2 top divisions. They're the 2 strongest. And then you have West versus South, which are the 2 weakest. And whichever 2 teams win from those 4 matches will then face off in the Tenkaichi Bowl. So it is entirely possible for a North Kai team to go into the Tenkaichi Bowl versus a South Kai team.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we have it split up the way we do, so that one of the weaker divisions can at least make it to the Tenkaichi Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, we have the giant extravaganza that is the Tenkaichi Bowl, and it's going to be like a 4 or 5 hour incredible occasion where we're going to have the MVP matches, which is the strongest person on each team is going to fight it out in a ring out tournament to see who gets to be crowned Season 6 MVP. We're going to have the Gauntlet, where each division is going to take one character from their 4 teams and make a division team. And you guys are going to be fighting for the pride of your division and also for the pride of the league, because we have yet to see round 3 of the Gauntlet.
Mm-hmm.
And god damn it, we want to see what it is. And then, of course, you have the main event, which is the Tenkaichi Bowl, where you're going to have the 2 teams that have made it through everything. They've made it through the season, they've made it through the playoffs, and they fight for the crown and the ability to call themselves Season 6 champions.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody will get an email telling them where Squee lives, and we're just going to pop champagne on Squee and call the season done.
Are we?
Yeah.
I don't remember doing that last season.
No, I talked to Squee. He said it's fine.
Okay, if Squee said it. But yeah, it's going to be a fun event. It takes a bit to ramp up, but once we get to the bowl, it's amazing. I remember last season I helped co-comm the Gauntlet. That was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah,
that was my first experience co-commentating.
That was a good time to step in then.
Yeah. Speaking of the Gauntlet, I will be opening up the threads later on today. I will have 2 different threads. One for your votes and do we just have the captain's vote? Or do we just have whoever vote?
No, I'm pretty sure the way we've done it is every member on every team has a vote, and they can, put in their 2 cents and say, I think that this team should put in this person. Although the way the Gauntlet works is that you cannot choose someone from your own team. Super Saiyans cannot come into the Gauntlet and say, and Vegeta is representing the Super Saiyans. That doesn't fly.
They can't do that. What you can do is, it would be a good idea to maybe put N Vegeta, just saying, because he can do this, and then let the other teams think about it. But the other teams have the final word.
Exactly.
So I'm going to have 2 threads. One of them is going to be the voting thread, which I will keep totals of in my original post. And the other thread is going to be what you guys want to do with your teams. You're going to have 3 different builds of those 4 characters.
Yes, 1 for each stage. So you will have a round 1 Gauntlet build, and then should your team survive, Squee will then put in your round 2 Gauntlet build, and should you somehow make it to round 3, you'll have your round 3 Gauntlet build.
And you don't have to have different builds for each of the rounds. We're just giving you that option if you wish, because traditionally it's been a lot harder for one build to get rid of the fusion, Team Fusion, which is round 1, which is straight out all out defense. It's really hard to go up against them, and then go into Super Saiyan 4, which is straight out defense, ultimate defense. It's hard to find a build that can balance between both those and then maybe stand a chance at the question mark round 3.
Right. Also, just to clear it up, you said defense twice. The first round is actually pure offense.
Yeah, I meant to say pure offense for fusions, pure defense for SSJ4s. Yeah, that's what I meant.
But yes, if you think you can, by all means, put out one build and say, this is the build that will carry us through the whole thing. Just know that we are giving you the option to be flexible.
All right, so there's that. We still have yet to get the MVP damages up for week 15. There are still a few damage stats to gather, but once I get those, I will name who is everybody's MVP, which will then open up the discussion of why you feel this character would be your MVP instead of the character that we have chosen, and so on and so on. Right now, as of week 14, it's looking like the Android's MVP is Cell, The Blades MVP is Trunks. The Boo's MVP is Oob. Mecha Frieza is the Cold's MVP. Derp's MVP is Salza. Dragon Ball Warriors MVP is Nam. Earth Defenders MVP is Mid Goku. Ginyu Force's MVP is Jace. The Gohan's MVP is Ultimate Gohan. Majin's is Majub. Muscles is Bojack. Which, huh?
Don't ask. Just keep reading.
What? But Broly. Anyways, Namex is Early Piccolo. Goten is the Rugrats. Saiyans is Bardock. Super Saiyans is Trunks. And Valkyries is Aurelie. Which a lot of those could change when we get Week 15 stats, but for now, that's what we're looking at. I will definitely slap that up somewhere in an announcement once I get all of those damage stats.
Yes, and just, I don't know if we've said this before, but just to beat a dead horse if we have, none of the MVPs can be used in the gauntlet. MVPs are locked in. Your choices for the gauntlet are going to be entirely the other three characters that are not the MVPs.
Yeah, the other four on your
The
team.
other, yes.
So we do that for a reason. It's to make the gauntlet harder. Also, the MVP tournament is supposed to be your MVP and that kind of thing. Do we need to go over why we've done the whole choosing your MVP thing, Viper?
For new people, sure. I guess we could mention it that the point of the MVPs was to be fun and to not be taken seriously and just to be, a nice little thing where you just throw in somebody and hope that they become the MVP. But it's mostly just for entertainment value, especially since you can ring out, and we have had people ring themselves out.
Yeah.
And so we decided to have the MVP be chosen for people because people were taking it entirely too seriously. They were investing too much time and energy into their MVP, and they would either get, upset that their character would ring themselves out, or they would get upset that their character was doing amazing and then got a random ring out. People were investing more than we wanted them to, and so the MVP was decided it will be chosen for you so that you know who your MVP is, you can work on the build, and then you can just let them out and just try to enjoy the MVPs for what it is.
Yeah. It was meant to be a silly thing, and the spirit of the competition started to get twisted with some teams. But with this rule, we've sort of fixed that. We are still up for debating. Like, if you feel that maybe Yajirobe is your MVP as the Blades, then bring it to us. Try and give us a solid reason as to why this character is your MVP more than this character.
Yes, but just remember, it's going to have to be a really solid argument because we're going on highest damage done. Like, this person has pulled the most weight on your team. Period.
Yeah. Average damage done. Highest average.
Which means we're looking at consistency here. So
yeah,
the person who's chosen as your MVP has consistently been the damage dealer.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that's MVP. We've gone over the gauntlet.
Also, one other thing for the MVP that Squee mentioned, and just in case people didn't catch it, Squee announced Power Body will not be allowed for the MVP tournament.
Yes. It will not be allowed.
If you were thinking that you were going to stand there and be an immovable wall in the MVP tournament, you are wrong.
Yeah. If you put Power Body on your MVP tournament build, unfortunately, we will take it off, and you will just have those points missing. You will have 4 points missing.
Yes. Remember, this is supposed to be fun. This isn't supposed to be any kind of super serious competition. So just make sure that you understand that your MVP is chosen. You can bring up an argument if you want, but it needs to sway the stats and no Power Body.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Was there anything else that we need to go over?
We went over how the playoffs function. We did MVP. We did Gauntlet. No, other than the Tenkaichi Bowl match is also a best of 3.
Yeah.
So there is no one match to decide it. It will be whoever can win the best 2 out of 3.
Mm-hmm. All of the playoffs are best of 3s. You know what? I'm gonna go over the season 7 placement because that is one of the few things that is already locked in. Luckily, we didn't have to bring the stats into this, but we just were able to do it off of win-loss records and who won against who. So the season 7 placement for season 7 in North Kai will be the Super Saiyans, the Androids, the Earth Defenders, and Cold.
And the only team remaining in North Kai is the Super Saiyans. Everybody else is brand new.
No.
Well, no, and Earth Defenders. Never mind.
Thank
who
you.
Who notices the Earth Defenders anyway? North Kai is just going to be 3 teams.
Dick. This is like the second time that the Earth Defenders have ever been in North Kai. Come on now.
Fine. Yes, Earth Defenders and Super Saiyans are continuing on in their North Kai position. Majins and Muscle are not in. Androids and Colds are taking their place.
Yeah. In East Kai will be the Blades, the Boos, the Rugrats, and the Gohans.
This one only has one team staying in, the Rugrats. Everybody else is new.
Yeah, and the Boos and Blades come up from West Kai, and Gohans was able to come up from South Kai. It's pretty good.
Yeah, every season you have at least like 1 or 2 teams coming up out of South Kai, and it's always fun to see just how high they go. And Cold and Gohans being able to reach North and East Kai out of South Kai is pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm. Now on to West Kai. We have the Valkyries, the Majins, the Dragon Ball Warriors, and the Saiyans. The Saiyans are the only team that have stayed in West Kai.
Yep, and unfortunately, Valkyries are dropping down from East Kai, and Majins are dropping down from North Kai.
Yep, and Dragon Ball Warriors are dropping down from East Kai as well.
Right.
Now, South Kai will be Namek, Muscle, Ginyu, and Derp.
Ginyu is actually dropping down from West Kai. Namek are dropping down.
No, Namek are
Namek
from
are staying
South
in?
Kai, along with Derp.
Oh,
and
yes,
Muscle.
okay.
Muscle is
Yeah,
coming
Muscle
down from
dropped
North
all
Kai.
the way from North Kai, unfortunately.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You had a 6-9 record. There were only 3 matches between the lowest in North Kai and you. It's not that big of a gap.
Not that big of a gap, but it is still a tremendous drop.
Eh.
Although I will say that it's not as bad as it has been in previous seasons. Like
It's not as bad as Cold last season.
yes, exactly. It's not like Muscle dropped down to South Kai because they went like 4-11 or something like that.
Yeah.
Which again, we've been beating this dead horse also, but it's always fun to say. That just goes to show just how even the league has been this season.
Mm-hmm. I can't think of anything else to say. What about you? Ready to wrap up?
Yeah, basically, I guess the only thing left to say would be good luck to everybody. Oh, there is one thing important to say. I don't know if anybody has tried to skate by on making builds that they think can just be good, period. Don't do it. Scout, plan. The final customization thread is your friend. Use it. Look at the other team's builds. You need to make sure that you take the playoffs seriously and that you scout. Scouting is incredibly important, and every team should be doing it and trying to counter.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, other than that, good luck to all the teams.
Mm-hmm. Good luck. And we will try to see you next week, or we might just hold off until after the bowl and have, like, everybody here.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, 5 people trying to ramble over Zcast. That would be fun. In a sense.
In a sense. Controlled chaos.
Yes, controlled chaos. I would probably be like reining in everybody, but still might be cool. I'll catch you guys later.
Talk to you guys later.
Bye bye.